Hello everyone and welcome back to For the Minions, the weekly podcast all about upcoming third-person MOBAs. I'm your host, the Mangoose. This week, we've got a whole bunch of updates for Overprime. We've got some updates for Ethereal, some little things for Fault, and some little things for Predecessor. I'm your host, the Mangoose. Joining me, as always, is my friend and co-host, Jellyknees. How you doing, Jelly?
I'm good, Mangoose. I just somehow noticed that you literally always, tilt your head as you talk back and forth. And like you're like a Rock'em Sock'em robot that has been popped his head up, and so he's got to go back and forth a little bit. I don't know, man. But with us this week, we've got Darklee. Welcome, Darklee. Happy to have you here. Get us in the the mindset, whatever. Explain to us about your history with Paragon, what character you play, what lane you play, all those good things.
History of Paragon? Again?
I know.
Yes, always. We need your history.
Okay. Well, some of you may have seen me and played me in Fault. And if I am aggressive support, I love playing support aggressively. Phase is my bay. Or if you see me in solo, I will play tank. I'm also a really great jungler. Do not expect me to carry. I am awful at carry.
Oh, I thought it meant carry as a jungler. I was like, what? You started that sentence with, I'm a really great jungler. Don't expect me to
Just don't
carry.
expect much.
I mean, that's how I feel when I play with Mangoose. Mangoose is great at everything.
I'm really
as
good
long
at
as
killing
I
jungle
expect the
minions.
Bare minimum.
You should know that I have ADHD, so if my thought trains will be like this and be like, oh, I gotta fit this in there, and we're gonna go back this way.
A squirrel.
That's fine. We deal with Mangoose every week.
Squirrel? Oh yeah, earthquake. And oh yeah, I need to talk about getting some jelly beans.
So if you guys want to come and guest host on the show, all you gotta do is ask me. Just hit me up in the comments below or on Discord. Eventually, you have to get on Discord because we record this on Discord. That's the only thing you need. You need a mic and Discord. You don't have to have a camera. But let's get into the updates.
If Mangoose intimidates you,
Don't
you
forget
can
to
reach out
subscribe
to
to
me.
Mangoose.
Yeah, you can. You can reach out. We're not doing plugs yet, Dark. Oh.
No, we gotta start early. Grab them by the.
Yes, you can, of course, reach out to Jelly. Jelly, you haven't brought anybody on the show. What are you're slacking?
Oh, Mangoose, I asked you last week if I could be on the show, so I'm happy to be here so quickly, okay?
And I told you no.
And yet here I am anyway. Dude, I don't take no for an answer, okay?
All right, the updates for this week. So we usually start off with whoever has the biggest updates, but Overprime just has a fucking grocery cart full of goddamn updates. So we're going to let the guy behind us with the Twix go by and hit up the other games before we get into Overprime. Do you get it? Do you get it, Jelly?
I got it. But it was a little bit of a stretch, not gonna lie.
That's not a stretch.
I have more questions about why the guy with the Twix is in the line behind me instead of just going to self-checkout, right? Like, at this point...
Oh, we're at a place without self-checkout. You have to get into my head.
No. Self-checkout exists everywhere, man.
If
self-checkout doesn't exist, I'm not going.
We're at a Dollar General store.
The isn't behind me to begin with, okay?
We're at a Dollar General store, and there's trailers all around us.
Great. Thank you, Mangoose.
Yeah.
Set the scene a little more for us.
And all right,
and the baby in aisle 3 is crying.
Let's start off with Fault this week. The patch went out. We covered that last week, but they did have to have several hot fixes after the patch. Hot fixes after the patch. But yeah, not everything came out too smoothly, but they were very quick about getting it fixed. Dark, you demonstrated one of their early glitches that had me absolutely freaking rolling. Why don't you tell us the glitch you found with Fault?
So, when they updated Fault, I was looking through their item systems and noticed that they added, Cleave. And noticed that it had, BADs. I'm like, cool, I know another character in their game that also does their BAD damage. So I chose Grux. I'm gonna see if it works on him. I found out early on into the testing into their single player that if you were to go and set his smite down to 0 while you have his bleed unlocked, it suddenly becomes instant smite, and you can cast it infinitely as fast as you can cast it. So I could go into Raptors, take it within a second, go solo prime as soon as it popped up.
Yeah. That's what cracked me up. You just walked up to Prime and just went wham, 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 just smite, 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 gaining health the entire time. It just killed it just like that. And that was live in the game. That wasn't just in PvE. People could do that in PvP if they wanted to. And the smites, you could upgrade them to deal damage to heroes. So you could just smite somebody down.
Slow and invulnerability.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely insane.
I don't see a problem with that at all. I think that should have stayed in the game.
No, it was great. And I guess there was also an issue with Twin Blast when they sent it into their hotfix, so it wasn't just Grux.
Yeah, I guess Twin Blast could do it too, or he could do it with something or other.
I was looking to see if I could do it with the telepath trinket because I didn't get the chance to do it.
God.
Could you imagine that? Just pulling someone? Yeah, you're coming to me to my core.
So that's about all I had for them. I mean, the patch went pretty smoothly, I think. The cleave items are just as powerful as we thought they would be. Jelly, have you played on the new patch at all?
Yeah. The cleave items inspired me to go in and play some jungle games, and I was dead on that those things are busted.
Yeah.
Like they on a basic attack focused character, it turns the jungle clear into a couple seconds, and then you just go on a gang spree all game.
If you're
With
not
extra
careful, you can
damage.
get your jungle taken from you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You will. And especially with the purple one, the thing that
Oh,
it's 125% BAD, that thing just shreds people. I tested it out in a bot match, and that by itself, like half health the bot Murdoch. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Then you've got the green one that heals you for like 8% of your max health for anybody hit by the cleave. So you could just,
Which is nuts.
yeah, absolutely insane. But they've already patched it out. Well, no, they haven't patched that out. That's still there. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a pretty good patch overall. The matchmaking thing, that's the other thing they needed to fix a lot. I really like the way that they've done the ping-based matchmaking, because now I can queue in the afternoon and get games on NA instead of having to go EU. However, it really screwed over like South American players or Oceanic server players, so they weren't able to get into games at all, and they got pretty furious over that. So they did patch that in and make it to where that they could still queue normal servers if they want to. So that has also been fixed.
I think overall that helps keep players playing their game throughout the day, because you'll see a lot more EU players playing longer than they were in the past.
Yeah, I mean, if you find a game even 10 minutes in to a queue versus 20 minutes, that's 10 minutes less that the player can think, oh, maybe I'll just go do something else. Right? And so the shorter that time frame is, the better it is for them.
Yeah.
Better player retention.
Yep, 100%.
And they're asking for feedback on their next mastery race. The last mastery race they had was for Crunch, and it was whoever could get to his gold skin the fastest won. And they're asking for feedback on that, which I guess means that they're probably going to have a new hero fairly soon, I would think.
I'm
I
hearing
hope so.
Iggy and Scorch.
I hope so.
I mean, a lot of people are thinking it's going to be Iggy and Scorch because they had Iggy and Scorch's abilities in their list of abilities that you could change the cast type. They did that on accident a long time ago. Yeah, they did it along with Feng Mao. But Crunch wasn't there, and Crunch came out before Iggy and Scorch.
I mean, Mangers, I've been telling you that I know Iggy and Scorch is coming for a long time, so it's...
I hope it is.
I'll finally be right this time.
I really hope it is. That would be awesome. That would bring in so many more players default, because that's like that's just one of those heroes. It's one of those heroes that people loved.
You know, if it is, I would love to see the mastery system revolve around him and his abilities, like how often you were able to destroy minions, because he's more of a tower defense kind of guy. So how long? I don't know. Maybe.
So you don't want a mastery race? You want like a tower kill race or something?
Like how long
get
live
mastery skid off that?
Like get bonuses for doing like cool plays or something, right? For every 100 minions killed, you get an extra 5 mastery points, right? And so it's your skill actually makes a big difference in that on
playing
the direct
the character
hero
to their role.
Okay. But that would just be a general fix to their mastery system, not their mastery races.
Yeah.
Which is
It
fine.
sounded good in your head.
Which is fine if you want to throw that out there.
I think the one thing I would change, and it's evidenced even in their own post about who won the last one, because that was Kaijin, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
They need to lower the amount of mastery you get from PvE games,
Yeah, he played
because he played
mainly.
75% of his games were PvE.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, I was doing the same thing that weekend, is I could go into a game, end a game in 15 minutes, get into the next one immediately, right? That you can just grind it out that way. If you want to grind it out that way, fine, but it can't be the majority of the games played to get to that mastery win.
But on the flip side of that, whenever you're queuing in PvP, like people if everybody's racing for that hero, it's going to be who can get to him first.
That was the thing in Paragon too.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it was.
If you don't let me have my character, I'm gonna go pick Iggy.
I
Remember
still
that?
think you shouldn't get points towards mastery skins unless it's PvP. That's just my personal.
Oh yeah.
I would agree with that. I think I'm okay with you getting account levels because they relatively mean nothing.
You're right.
But mastery, you're not mastering anything.
Yeah, maybe cap it at gold skin or something. So
I was
the
even
people
thinking
that
bronze.
Oh, really?
Yeah, once you get to the max of bronze, then that's the amount of mastery you can get from PvE.
I don't know. I like rewarding people that don't want to PvP. They just like the PvE. But to get a mastery skin to say that you've mastered that hero, I think you had to have. You need to have taken them against some real players a couple of times. You know.
I mean,
I don't
okay. New option. Disable it entirely for PvE, except if you steal kills away from your allied Murdoch before he ults them. Then you're guaranteed 500 points of mastery.
Yeah, and good luck doing that.
Exactly.
You do it on accident every now and then, but
That surprises me every time you're gonna go in for a kill. You got that one final swing of
dude.
like
it doesn't matter where he is. He's like off the jump pad. You know,
he does,
that AI Murdoch, he don't miss.
Take a knee in front of me. Like he doesn't
when
care
you
what
gank an enemy Murdoch and he shield bashes you away without even moving. Like he just
Regular fucking Carlos Hathcock over there. Fucking all right, that's about all I had for Fault, unless you guys had anything else.
Nope.
Nothing for Fault?
No.
Let's move on to Predecessor then. Predecessor, they've gone fairly quiet after the stress test. They have continued to interact. It isn't like what it was in the past where they just completely fell off the map after anything happened. But they have been posting some gameplay clips on like Twitter and stuff like that. And they did post those stats that we talked about last week. So it's not like they've gone completely silent, but they've gone pretty quiet compared to what they were hyping up, which is understandable, I think. Dark, what did you think of the Pred stress test? I know you played it.
I played quite a bit. I loved it. It felt great. It was smooth. I thought the overall speed of the matches of every matches were just fantastic. I even just thinking that we're like even 18 minutes in, felt like I've been playing for a while, but it felt great. If that makes sense.
I get it.
Because I was just like, I was going down
long
lane
and short at the same time, right? Like where it's this weird
I was like,
middle ground.
level 15, and comparing it to Fall, I was like, all right, that would be like 30 minutes in. I look up and it's like only 18 minutes in. We're only at their inhibs. Like it felt great. I could get more matches in because my time is limited because of school.
Yeah.
It felt great, and the characters moving between every plane, it felt great. It felt like a third-person MOBA.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a top-down MOBA.
Yeah. I know, Dark, you like to experiment with items quite a bit.
Yes.
What did you think of Predecessor's items?
They were diverse. Very diverse. It was, in my opinion, a lot of elements leaning towards fun, engagement, and experimental gameplay. Like moon boots. That's great.
And it takes advantage of the 3D space, which you don't
It
see a lot
does.
of items do.
It really does. Like, I know that everyone keeps like saying like, but boots is such a great item. It's like, yeah, but you really don't need boots. I mean, yeah, it may be in like a satellite. It'd be great for boots, but maybe in a third-person MOBA, you could replace boots with like the ability to activate a sprint, and you got stamina now. You can run from things, but when you lose that stamina, then you could even take more damage. Something slow. That would be a third-person MOBA tactic.
It's like he's saying that we really should add in like class abilities or something to characters. I wonder where we're doing that. How weird. What a coincidence.
I don't know.
But I think that's one of the more impressive items that they had was the Galaxy Greaves, I think is what their official name was, but everybody called them moon boots. But I mean, you could jump over certain walls that you wouldn't be able to with if you didn't have them. I think that was a nice thing to include. It's something they all need to look for is ways to take full advantage of that Z axis. Otherwise, you're just
So I never
weird.
really played her too much in any of the games, but Moon Boots Galaxy Greaves is basically just Decker right click, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of just a slower version of it, yeah.
Okay.
They literally take like a lot of their items looked like they looked at the characters and said, "Why don't we make that an item?"
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a great idea.
Which it is with fewer characters, but the second you expand that out of like, let's give Wukong a Decker right click, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where you go like, nah, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like,
I was too focused on their passives and didn't even look at their stats, like how much attack I was getting, power boost. It was just, all right, what passive can I put on my character that would help the team?
I do think that's a huge thing for them. Is I would agree with you that I never looked at the amount of stats necessarily. I looked at like, this item gives me attack speed, physical power, and the passive that I'm looking for, right? So it gave me the stats that I cared about. I didn't necessarily care about how much of that stat, and then the passive. So I think that's a cooler way. It doesn't make me feel like I'm like, oh, but I need exactly 32 attack speed and 55 physical power before I get my next power spike so I can go kill Mangoose for the 50th time, right? Like it's I like how it's more focused around the passives than it is the actual stat number itself.
Yeah.
Except for percent max health. I still stand by that is atrocious and needs to get removed.
Well, now I'm just thinking, like, when they add Decker into the game, are you going to be able to moon boost and then jump right off the fucking map after you...
This is my point, man.
At the apex of your jump?
You make character abilities items, then character abilities are even stronger.
Oh my god, can you imagine the clips that are going to come out of that if you jump all the way with moon boost and then, launch
or
that Decker
elevated,
stun.
like the elevated tower, you jump from there. Or say, Gideon, you jump into a Gideon portal and then you jump and then do another moon boots. She's going to the moon.
Now we're gonna have compilations of like, how high can you get in Predecessor?
And then Tom Muriel's flight tour when she's at the apex of that jump, you get Muriel, and then you have Kalari ult to the Muriel. Let's see how high we can stack these Paragon heroes.
Oh my god!
Let's get a gadget mine in there somewhere.
We officially proved the Predecessor space program.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna find the top of that map. All right, that's all I had for Predecessor. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
Nah.
Let's move on to Ethereal then. So, Jelly provided us with a nice new image of their UI. Was I not supposed to say that you provided us with this, Jelly? I mean, where the hell else is it going to come from?
That's fine. I just, whatever.
So, this looks much cleaner and easier to read than what we've seen in the past. I never thought that Ethereal's UI was particularly bad, but this does look good. It looks very clean, looks very nice. You can tell that that's with the new map with the snowy ice lane and the burned out fire lane. What else can you tell us about this map, Jelly? What should I be looking for here?
I mean, so there's a lot of things. So the last test we had the minimap enabled. In order to see all three lanes together, you had to press the M key. And so to do that, we know that was an extraneous button press for no reason. So this screen, this is what you see when you press tab in the game. This screen was designed with that in mind, of being able to let you see the mini map, your team stats and items, the enemy team stats and items, as well as if you look at the top, you can see respawn timers for the ice, fire, wyverns, and Atropos as well, which was missing. So those are the big things that are on there. And it's just finding a way to have all that information on there while still keeping it condensed and in a fashion that is consumable. So yeah, like you mentioned though, Mangoose, we've got the new map, the new mini maps, all three on there, being Fire, Void, and Ice. And you see icons, you see camp icons as well. You have the different wyverns, the locations of things. You can see the buffs are colored, right? So you've got purple buff has like a purple gem at the top. Green buff has a green gem at the top of these camps. So it's just giving more of that clarity that the minimap was missing during the last test going forward.
Now, would you think there would be a way to make this a little more transparent so that if I did bring this up and there were enemies around, I would still be able to see them through that map?
I can't say with 100% certainty. I can tell you that in the future, we definitely have plans to implement something similar to like Smite's UI customization, where you can adjust everything under the sun.
That would be
I'm
brilliant.
ever impressed by their UI. So that is definitely in the plan. I couldn't tell you when that's going to be implemented for sure, though.
Right on. And now, Dark, you started testing for Ethereal, right?
I did, I believe, last month.
Right
Yeah.
around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jelly got approval for us to pepper you with questions.
Okay.
Why is everything Jelly? Jelly did this. Jelly did
this.
that. Oh
Because
my
it
god,
feels
dude.
wrong.
This all of you at home, you now know how much work I put into this show, okay?
He's playing the Mercy on Me card.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, so Dark, we kind of want to just pick your brain about what it's like to be a tester. You said already you've been in there for about a month, which sounds about right. But how often do you test with the team? How do you do the full 3 tests a week? How often do you usually participate?
About 1 to 2 a week due to
Okay.
school. And from when I do get it in, it's nice. I like playing it. I really do enjoy it. It's just, I was always not able to join because of school.
How
You
far?
heard it here, folks. He's not a real gamer. He's going to school over playing Ethereal. All right, get
No,
him
he's
out
going
of
to,
here.
he's going to
Gamer.
gamer. He's going to gamer school though.
I am. I'm going to be a game developer.
Is that really gamer school? Because gamers hate developers. So
Ooh, yeah.
if anything,
that's
he's
right.
becoming one of the enemy, right? Like
Look at this Cam Winston motherfucker. Get your socks on your hands. um, well, how far has Ethereal come from the last time the entire community has experienced that? Like, if you had to give a percentage of how much it's improved, what percentage would you give it? Jelly's like, is it okay for him to ask all that? Is it okay for him to ask all
No,
that?
I'm trying to I started probably 2 weeks after the public test, so I guess kind of was able to see what everyone else got to play. And about 4 weeks in, it was a big improvement. You could tell the quality got so much, like someone who knows their coding is doing great. Props to them.
And even now, Skipper's sitting there stopping sharpening his knife, saying like, "Thank you."
Cut here. 100% improvement. I'll just say that 100%.
Okay, that's a pretty big percent.
Twice as good, he's saying.
Yeah.
Some would say the highest
Looks
percent.
and feels good.
Yeah.
I have to say that. It looks and feels good.
And I
Right
guess
on.
so. Dark, did you play in some of the open tests that happened before?
I did not.
Okay.
I was not.
But from what you've seen, how does the new map change your perspective?
I've seen what the old map was, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing the new map now, I think it's great. How it's laid out, and the things that happen on the map in certain areas, it's great.
I like him. I like
Way to-
Dark.
way to be
He's
vague, way to be
answering the way
vague.
I want him to answer.
Oh God, here's the question that I've been wanting to ask forever.
No, don't do it.
I told you I could be clever.
Do I need sunglasses to play Ice Lane?
Oh, not the question I thought you were gonna ask.
You know, I think some retexturing needs to be done there.
Okay.
Yes. So, other than that, it's
'Cause I felt that it would be
there.
too bright if you were to play it there for just if you tried to stay in that lane the entire time. I thought all that white might kind of
I don't
blind you a little bit.
play in the ice lane much. I'm always in the fire lane because I'm either support or messing around as Leah.
Okay, so support goes fire lane?
Yeah.
You heard it here first, boys. You heard it here first.
We said that in our video, Mangoose. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
It was literally my voice that said the words.
Yeah, but you lie.
What?
So, since you've been testing, how often have they been doing updates?
Every week.
Really?
Twice a week.
Like big shit, or just like little
At the beginning of the week,
shit?
it's like play test, see if there's any bugs, then get the feedback, update, more feedback.
Right on. Seems like it's got a pretty good schedule going on over there then.
Yeah.
Jelly, when's the game coming out?
I mean, I wish I could answer that for you, Mangoose. Man, to be the guy that used to ask that question,
FTM.
and now to be the guy that has to.
I even tried to surprise you with it.
Oh, Mangoose, it's me. You can't surprise me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'll try.
That's not even the question I thought you were going to ask earlier, too. I thought you were going to ask him what the obelisk does.
I was gonna say, like, do you want No Man's Sky then, or No Man's Sky now?
Have they told you what the obelisk does yet, Jelly?
Me?
Do you even know?
No, I don't. They still don't tell me.
Yeah, they're keeping that one under wraps.
They don't like me, man. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, Jelly, you can get the next one.
Yes. I don't know which one the next one is.
Which myth do you enjoy the most, Darklee?
Say it again.
I enjoy Marina.
Oh,
Marina, really?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is an aggressive support, and you do like your aggressive supports.
So I was over there in Fire Lane supporting as Marina. What is the carry? Talos through with guns.
Dante.
Dante.
I forget. Dante. Yeah. So you're over there, and the lady with the claws came into our lane,
Malaya.
and thank you. I'm still learning their names. I only know Marina because I
How
play her
long have
a
you
lot.
been testing?
I just. That's
all
literally
right.
how
I'm
I
out to get to the
rival
tester
my
form
friends,
now.
okay?
Do you know the characters' names?
No.
So Axe Boy and Claw Girl come into my lane.
So she
Sounds like a
goes into
Mangoose
my
story
lane
already.
and does a tower dive because she can do that. It's great because I expected it, and I used my right click, starts taking tower damage, killed her because she was trying to leave.
Nice.
Dude, Marina right click under towers is one of the most terrifying things that you get under a tower and you see that little heart pop up above your head and you're like, damn it. Like, great. This is going to be fun.
Somni did such a great job voicing Marina's voice lines and actually singing for the part of her. Of that.
Yeah.
I've seen one of the devs, Skifter, play her mid lane, and he's scary playing her. Oh, at that time I was
she can be pretty
experimenting with
offensive.
Aaliyah. Yeah, surprised the hell out of me because I'm like, okay, I haven't learned the items. I need to.
Yeah, I mean, she could damage people while healing herself too. So.
Yeah. Oh, dude, she's nuts.
Yeah. All right, I think that's all the questions we had. You guys got anything else for Ethereal?
I don't think anything comes to mind.
No, I can't say.
You're too afraid of giving too much away?
No, I think the question that I think I had is like a feedback thing, and that's not for here.
Okay. Not the right location for it. All right. Well, let's move on to Overprime then. Big announcement from them. We didn't get to cover it last week. It came out right before the show aired. 11-day closed beta test announced for 29 April. So we're going to get to play the old Overprime for 11 days. We've been asking for this. Like, how are these games going to fare? How are they going to hold up if they're being tested for longer than a weekend? And we're going to find out. We're going to learn today.
And for those of you that are in the United States that actually say dates correctly, that's April 29th, because I don't know why Mangoose decided to switch to the European standard for dates.
What did I say?
29 April.
Okay.
Because that's what you have on the sheet. You put 29 April.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll start going military on you. I don't
Those
even give a
locals
shit.
that actually, put it the correct way. It's the April 29th.
Whatever. 11-day closed beta test, 29 April. What do you guys think?
At 0900 hours.
I can't wait, Mangoose. Like we said before, that we think it's gonna be I hope that there's gonna be a patch in the middle of it, right? That they get those first couple days of feedback and then test themselves at implementing a patch and then going from there as well. Because that is a great thing for practice for them going forward, but also will show us how quickly they can respond to potential things that show up, especially if we start getting new characters that weren't in the last test in this one.
Think we're gonna get that new character that they've been teasing?
Adele, they've said that she's almost done.
I would love it, but we know that the other one, the Shinbi knockoff, is going to be in it, right?
Well, you've got Jenna, who has the red jacket. She's the one with the sword that she swipes around like an anime girl.
Okay.
Then you've got Rena, who I don't know what the fuck she does. She dances around with the Paragon heroes, apparently. But I don't think either of those are going to be in the closed beta test. Those are planned for the future.
But I mean, speaking of heroes, I mean, the next point's a big one, but it's going to be interesting to see what new heroes, what the impact of new heroes is going forward as well, especially heroes that never existed on the legacy map.
Yeah.
Because like Wukong, for instance, right? That's a huge change for Wukong to be able, assuming they keep his original kit, to be able to traverse the legacy map in the same way he could traverse Monolith.
And having travel mode on top of all of his other movement abilities.
Yep.
Redonkulous.
Can't wait.
They've showed us the Wukong skin, and they've assured us that they're adding all the heroes, so he'll be coming sooner or later. He'll be coming around the mountain. I think it would be really cool if about halfway through the test, that's when they dropped a new hero to kind of simulate that experience.
Ooh, that could be cool.
Like, I could see them doing that with the Fae, because we've seen gameplay of the Fae. We've seen her on the website, but she last minute got replaced with Shinbi, who they're calling Bora. But so we know that the Fae is playable and probably fairly well balanced. So I would love to see her in the game.
Might definitely see some a new character this playtest. Have to. They've had plenty of time to implement one.
I don't know. We'll move on here to this interview. They had this huge interview with Netmarble Inside or something. I guess it's some kind of company that tracks Netmarble. It's probably actually Netmarble. I don't even freaking know. But there was a lot of crazy info that came out of this. A lot of people didn't read it because it got translated from Korean into English, and so it's a little hard to read. And yeah, just a lot of the stuff they were talking about. Let's get into the heroes first. So their release schedule is they want to have a Paragon hero every month, and one of their original heroes every 3 months. So that's pretty crazy.
Is that going to be like on top of their like a Paragon hero? So they're going to release a Paragon hero and a hero like
I would they didn't really clarify, but I would imagine it would be just one hero.
One or the other.
Yeah, a hero a month, and every month is Paragon, and then their own, which makes you think, because I know for a fact from playing Overprime before, like, they got bought out by Netmarble and stuff, they had Boris, they had Seraph, Greystone, Decker. They had all kinds of heroes that we haven't seen hiding our hair of in the beta test or anything since Netmarble. So we know they have these heroes at least somewhat ready. So I think they have quite the backlog of heroes so that they'll be able to follow this one hero a month schedule for, quite a long time until they have all the heroes in.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the way to do it. If you're going to make a promise like that, you probably should have 8 months to 12 months of heroes in the can almost to give yourself a year buffer that if anything slows down, you have time to catch up. But they've got, I think it's 17 heroes of the Paragon heroes already in the game. Depending on how many they put in this next test, that leaves, what is that? 19 to still be added. So that gives them 19 months. And even more than that, because every 3 is one of their original heroes.
Right.
Especially when they rework their kits, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So that gives you 2 years worth of content on a monthly basis at minimum.
The only fear, and we all thought it, I know we did, is as soon as I said every 3 months, hashtag every 3 weeks, I think one Paragon hero a month is not too much to ask at all.
No.
With them having the assets. And a new hero every 3 months really isn't that big of an ask either. Because, Epic was able to, they kind of fucked themselves over with it eventually, but they were able to get a new hero out every 3 weeks like they had promised. I will say that Overprime didn't promise anything. This was just an interview question. So I wouldn't hold their feet to the fire if they weren't able to make some of these deadlines. But I don't know. I think it might be doable.
I think especially with the Paragon heroes, where very few of the assets need to be touched up at worst, right? Then it definitely, one a month is definitely doable. They're
Right.
every 3 for their proprietary characters. I think from what we know, assuming that Rena is actually going to be a playable character,
She is.
they've got 4 already that we've seen in some capacity. And so that's a year by itself that they're already ahead of the game, at least in terms of modeling. So that's a big deal. That's a year of development in the can, like I said before, where they can go down the line.
Right.
Really, every month for a Paragon character isn't that bad if you consider like every hero from Paragon has an ability that you could take from one or another person, max it up a little bit, and you've got your a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at Faye. If you take her pull, or like from her alt, and you could take that pull and then go to Wraith. His rewind, basically the same thing, just on a delay.
Kinda, yeah.
So with that in mind, like you could definitely pump out a hero every 3 months or 1 month, whatever you need to do, as long as you've got the structure there to make heroes.
And I'm just 100% convinced that they have a backlog just ready and waiting that they could introduce right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good strategy to wait and do it every once a month. Keep things fresh, keep things going, keep it popping.
And once a month kind of fits in with the mobile market. Mobile market, they update their games with new big content like that about once a month. So it makes sense that with Netmarble as their backing, that's kind of the route that they're going as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Netmarble that's the one giving those deadlines.
Awesome.
Yeah, it could be. From what they've been saying, Netmarble's been pretty hands-off and just letting them do what they need to do and just giving them the support they need, but we'll see how that goes if they're not making money. We'll see how long Netmarble stays on the sidelines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see, speaking of, they assured us in this interview that all paid products will be cosmetic. That nothing that you actually have to pay real money for will affect your stats or your skill. It'll all be cosmetics. So that's, especially with us seeing loot boxes in the game, that's really good to hear. Again,
but will it be earnable?
What's that?
But will it be earnable?
And that's
will the cosmetics be earnable? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So
like,
for
will
instance,
it be too much of a grind?
Overwatch, right? Every level,
Yeah.
you get a free loot box to open, right? it's a retention system by itself, which is big, but it also allows you to get those things for free. And so that I hate to call it this, but is like the gold standard if you're gonna do cosmetic only based free reward system in my head. The thing that we saw with Paragon though, and we see it with Smite as well, is content that is purely locked behind the loot boxes that I couldn't pay for even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And that to me is the ultimate frustration of like, really, like you're gonna make me it's almost extortion at that point of like let's put the coolest skin, let's take one of those Sevarog skins, right, and the solid gold one, let's put that as the only achievable in a loot box. All the Sevarog mains are gonna grind that out. They're gonna pay for 10 boxes to try and get that skin, right? Like I would hate to see that.
Then we get to watch their stream where they open up 40 loot boxes and get skins for everybody but Rampage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. Ugh. But if it would be even worse if it was items or like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But
I hope.
Yeah, I still don't want to see anything locked behind a loot box. Everything I hope you can just buy straight up. And I certainly think that they're well within their rights to take the skins that they made and sell those only for money, not make them grindable. Like those skins, they should be able to sell straight up. I don't think they should have to make those grindable. The Paragon skins, the unreleased skins, those you shouldn't have to pay for because we already paid for them once.
Yeah.
Right.
The hard part is they've also updated a lot of those Paragon skins.
Yeah, that's true.
And so at what point does the line blur between epics and ours? Right? Like I think the one that comes to mind, granted it's mostly the epic version of the skin, is that Raven Sparrow skin.
Yeah.
That they added like eyes and they made it more distinct, but it still in essence is the same skin, right? So at that point, where does the line fall?
That's very true. Didn't think about that. At least they've made changes. I mean, they covered this in the interview too. I didn't write it down here, but they talked about why they changed Shinbi, her basic appearance, like Shinbi and Kwang and some of the other heroes, like their straight up physical appearances changed, and they wanted it, as you've been saying, Jelly, they wanted to market to a more Eastern audience, and to do so, they made it appear more like it was an Eastern game, like Black Desert Online or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what Shinbi looks like now. She looks like she would be straight out of Black Desert Online, in her face at least.
100%.
So, yeah. What's that, Dark?
As making sense because like FaZe was in there and her one outfit made her very like a club goer in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
A graffiti artist. She had her little Kansas spray paint.
Yeah.
You know how graffiti artists wear their cat ears and holster their... Yeah, you know.
100%.
Yeah,
all the time.
Every graffiti artist I know wears cat ears, Mangoose.
I don't know what the inspiration for that skin was. It's cool, though.
Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, I know, right? One of the things they said, they aim to create a fun game, not a top seller. So,
Good.
I don't know. This is like that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the fence. Like, I barely trust.
It's one of those things, though, of like, that's almost the promise that pretty much every company makes when they're coming out with their game.
PR.
Right? Like, our goal is to make games fun for players, right? Duh. Okay. But your goal is also to make a boatload of money.
Yeah.
They've got Sheen Murray.
Call of
campaign.
Duty and Battlefield with like a word. Not like it's just one of those things of like, sure, I believe you until you make me not believe you.
Yeah. It's like I did that video recently about how the different Paragon projects have been funding themselves, and I mentioned, I don't trust, like I trust Team Soul Eve, I don't trust Netmarble as a gaming company. Somebody left a comment saying that they have played some of Netmarble's mobile games and that everything was grindable and you didn't have to pay to win. But then somebody immediately under that was like, yeah, you can grind it if you take like forever, but you really have
Uh-huh.
to, if you want to make any progress whatsoever, you got to pay, you know. That's kind of where they get you with the mobile games. You're paying for time more than you are.
Yep. Time savers.
Yeah.
It's just with any mobile game. I can tell you how much I've spent on Star Wars Galaxy. I can tell you the grind it takes to get one character to a certain level for
Mhm.
every month that they drop something. It's ridiculous. It's the mobile market. It sucks.
Let's move on to the bomb they dropped. The turd they dropped in the toilet during this interview. They are going to go console, as they've said a million times, and we've seen them playing on the PS5 and blah blah blah. But they are not planning for crossplay because they think it's unfair to have mouse and keyboard players playing with controller players, which is a hotly debated topic that has gone rounds within our community forever. I know what you guys think of this, but tell me what you think of it, Jelly.
I mean, on one hand, I understand where they're coming from, right? Mouse and keyboard players always complain about the auto aim that controller players get, that they have a favor to win because they get some form of auto aim to help compensate for the fact that they're on analog sticks. Fine. But then controller players constantly complain that mouse and keyboard players have it easier because they have better control over their character and yada yada yada. Right?
Or
So
FOV slider.
yeah, by just eliminating crossplay, you get rid of that argument basically from the get-go. But being from the Paragon community, that was such a big thing for a lot of people that's a hard sell, I think, for a lot of the original Paragon players. Now, that being said, to my knowledge at least, Paragon did not have a big Eastern market. So like we've been saying, Mangoose, is the more they appeal to the Eastern market, it may not make a difference because that either A may be more of a standard over there than it is here, and B, they wouldn't know better coming from Paragon directly.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just have an option to just turn off crossplay like all the other games have.
But it still creates that toxicity. It's a no-win scenario. So it's better to not be in the scenario in the first place, right? Change the conditions of the test.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, there's so much keyboard and mouse support on consoles, it's like, it doesn't make sense.
There is, but you still have the same... You're still akin to the controller's inputs. Kind of. It's that you're like the dead zones on analog sticks, it still counts for mouse and keyboard. Like you'd have to go through some pretty extreme lengths to get one-to-one mouse and keyboard on a console.
Yeah.
I know of one. There's like a little USB that you can get, you plug it into your console,
I have one.
plug it into your computer.
I'll plug it into my PS5 and stomp on these kids.
For a game with the...
I really hope they reconsider this.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will reconsider it because they thought there was an outcry about travel mode. If they release on console and don't have crossplay in some capacity, like maybe ranked isn't crossplay, but quick match is, or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Especially if they're only going to release on PS5. Because with the shortage of PS5s, not everybody has one. So you're dwindling your player base instantaneously just because of the nature of the console, not even because of your game having crossplay or not.
Right. I think that's the only console they can release on unless they do whatever the fucking both. Xbox is.
Oh, the Xbox Series or something?
Yeah.
I
don't think they can even get a PS4 dev kit anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some hardcore research into that and find out.
Yeah, because I wonder if the PS5 dev kit also allows backwards compatibility to the PS4.
That it does not. That I know it does not.
No, that's something
Last I heard, you were not allowed to exclusively design anything for PS4 anymore. At bare minimum, you had to do both PS4 and PS5.
Okay.
But we haven't seen anything about PS4 for them, but I wouldn't blame them for not showing that either.
Yeah.
Because PS5 is the newer, better one, right? So, yeah, it could go either way.
I don't know. I I think they're definitely going to reconsider this. I think they will eventually decide that they're going to allow crossplay in some capacity. They did say that they have the technology for it. It wouldn't be that hard to implement. So if it's not that hard to implement, I think that they will do it because people are going to shit a fucking cow whenever they hear that.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll wash my mouth out with soap later, guys, so don't worry. If Epic did it with Fortnite and eventually put in crossplay, right, there's no good reason not to necessarily for Overprime.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also, I just don't think there's that big of a, like, I know plenty of controller players that can outplay the dog shit out of me. Like, I'm not great, but I'm about an average player, I would say. And if you could beat the average player with that's on a mouse and keyboard and you've got a controller, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not going to be, maybe at the highest levels of gameplay, yes, but when you're just dicking with regular Joes just having fun playing Paragon, it's not going to matter if it's fucking mouse and keyboard versus controller.
Yeah, well, Mangus, you keep that to yourself from your low rank. Dark and I at the higher echelons of gameplay are going to take our mouse and keyboards and run. Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know. I actually played a lot of Paragon on my computer with the controller.
All right, I'm going to stay at the higher echelons of gameplay. You and Dark can have each other, okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Here's something that I did like. They plan to have voice chat.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. Thank God.
And that's something there is a core plugin to Unreal now that basically, I assume there's more than just turning it on, but for the most part,
You just flip a
gives
switch.
you the systems in place to just turn it on.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
there are.
Excellent. Because, this is something that people have been wanting for a very long time. They wanted it in Paragon. Of course, the argument is always that if you have voice chat, that people are going to say offensive shit. Of course that's going to happen. But you have a mute button. Just
Right. Use it.
yeah, if you can't deal with somebody saying one bad thing before you mute them, then what the hell?
Oh, sorry, I muted Mangoose. What did he say?
I mean, it give people if the people just don't want to hear it, give them the option to just mute everybody from the fucking start, from the get-go.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy to see that.
It'd actually be really cool to be able to talk shit to the enemy team. Like you get close and there's like
You
voice
want proximity chat?
Proximity chat.
Yeah, you're like,
Dude,
I'll
I've
hit
been
you with a rock.
back when Ethereal was first starting testing, I was making such a big deal about like we should do proximity chat in Ethereal.
That would be so cool. Hey, you're about to catch these hands.
The last thing you would hear before I ended your life would be
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
All right, now moving on. They also posted some Revenant gameplay. They posted some new gameplay. They had their Sparrow gameplay last time. They got their Revenant gameplay this time. Didn't look like that was much different from the Sparrow gameplay. It was just cool to see Rev in action. I will tell you, one of the very first comments I saw when I was about to make the exact same comment on their video was, they need to not have him use his voice line every fucking time he reloads. Every time.
100% agree.
Yeah, that got annoying real freaking quick. But they seem to have
His name is Shade Mangoose. Okay?
Oh, Shade, my bad. Shade. Not Revenant, Shade. But yeah, that was kind of a problem in the last playtest too, is that there was way too many voice lines flying around after you did goddamn anything. Like, just ease up on that. Like,
I get it.
Once every 5 or something like that. I don't know. All right. Then, did you guys have anything you want to say about that Revenant gameplay?
No.
Yeah, nothing.
No.
And then something I think they just posted it today. It was a new sweet ass Sevrog skin concept with it looked like a hammer mixed with a sickle instead of just a hammer and not just a sickle. It looked pretty badass. It's always good to see their skin concepts.
The Demorius skins that they have, Mangoose, Demorius.
You knowing all their names freaks me out, man.
It's more than what I know.
But the skin lines, all the skins that he has, honestly impress the hell out of me. Like they're just so good, and it makes me feel like the skins that everyone thought were super great of Sevarog in Paragon were just garbage. Like there was so much more potential that we never saw.
Just in general, like I still say that the jailer steel skin or whatever the fuck convicts,
Man.
goddamn Scott skin. Okay, what was Rampage name? Akamash. What was it?
I don't know. You've reached the limit of the characters I know, Mangoose.
So Scott and Akira, like Akira had the fucking
Tarek. He was named Tarek.
Tarek. Well, fucking, he had that like Planet of the Apes skin. Like those were better than anything Epic ever did.
100%.
The fucking Shimby skin was amazing. It wasn't nearly as, in your face and detailed as like the Scott or the Rampage skin. I'm just gonna say Rampage. But goddamn it was good. It looked great. The face skin, it looked great. Like they're knocking it out of the fucking park with their skins.
Yeah, 100%. If nothing else, like the skins by themselves make me want to play the game, and that's cool. That's a cool thing to have for your game. That purely based on looks, you can say that.
I don't know why Paragon kept it so basic. They could have done so much more.
I don't know, man. Like they had some pretty cool concepts lined up, but
I think the big thing is that Paragon was trying to turn out skins as fast as possible, and cool skins are harder to make.
Yeah, that's true.
Put the intern on it.
Recolors are easy.
Yep, recolors are really easy.
And something else I was just reminded of. They were talking during that interview how 98% of the people following Overprime were either North America or EU. But like I think it was like 63% of the people that played Overprime were from Asia.
Interesting.
Which means, and I said this in the video that's coming out yesterday, or it'll be tomorrow for us now, yesterday for when this airs. Like you were right, Jelly. You've been saying that for months now, that they specifically tailor their aesthetics and marketing towards the Eastern market, and it has worked out for them.
Clearly,
they specifically said in the interview is because they had a successful marketing campaign in Asia that brought in a whole bunch of people. So that excites me because that's people that probably have never even heard of Paragon.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that just the marketing for Overprime got to them, and then they played in the closed beta test. So that demonstrates that they're able to produce their own player base. They don't just have to rely on the fucking para-zombies.
Want to go
refugees.
That conversion is insane. To go from 2% of your audience to 63% of your players in a test is absolutely bonkers.
It is.
That is fantastic. Considering that a lot of the AAA studios here in the West are hardcore making sure that their games tailor to the East, because they know that the market is there. If a game is not successful there, it probably won't be successful here.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I would kill to see the full breakdown of metrics on that.
Yeah, me too. Like, how do they get those numbers? Like, is that just the Discord community that they're saying is 98%, or
I would imagine
like their followers on YouTube and shit like that? Or
so having a bigger Western population, Europe included, makes sense to me because Paragon refugees. So that sells me on that, no problem. Having it be 98% is a bit insane.
Yeah.
To then convert, like I said, the conversion is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I would guess that the majority of that 2% are the people that played the last test. Because there's no way you get to a majority of Eastern players in a 98% West dominated community if it's not almost all of your Eastern players, right? Which that's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. It just shows that there's so much growth for them on that side of things.
Yeah.
With them having it open for 11 days, we can get some bigger numbers because not a lot of people could have off that last test.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives more time for people to jump in, give the game a try, and see how they like it.
It gives time for that honeymoon phase to end, and we can find out what people really think of the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which is
If I get another 75-minute game, I'm going to cry.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope they fix that because their games went way too long a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
I see people all the time talking about, well, it's not even a MOBA, it's just a brawler. I'm like, no, it's still a MOBA. Like, there's still a pretty solid laning phase, and if you try and deathball, you're gonna be screwed by the people that are actually playing the game like a MOBA. And also, we had games that went fucking hours.
I mean, the other thing is Overwatch is a MOBA. So if Overwatch is a MOBA, Overprime's a MOBA. There's no question about it. Like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
The MOBA genre is a lot more broad than people give it credit for.
It just stands for multiplayer online battle arena. That could be anything.
Yep.
It just depends on how you define a MOBA. Gigantic people defined as a MOBA, but that didn't have any minions or abilities. I mean, they had abilities, but you didn't have items or anything. You didn't have a shop. I don't know.
I mean, Battle Royale is just a giant form of elimination.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of games that classify as MOBAs that people wouldn't even think of. It's just because Dota, League, and Smite have defined the MOBA genre for so long,
Right.
that's what people think constitutes a MOBA.
But I think the thing that people think constitutes a MOBA, Overprime has. Like, it's...
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's not just everybody loads up ARAM style in the mid lane and dukes it out from fucking minute one. No, you gotta farm up and get some items and shit before you can start dealing damage.
I'm not talking Call of Duty here.
All right, that's all I had for Overprime. Unless you guys had anything else.
Nope.
Mm-mm. No.
All right.
I'm excited, man.
I decided I was going to count Overprime as our topic for discussion because they had so much fucking
I figured.
information to go through.
Those people that are here for the topics of discussion every week are really disappointed in you, man. Goose.
They
3 weeks in
probably
a row.
are. I feel bad. We need to get back to them, but I also don't want 4-hour shows.
We're not looking at anyone in particular when we say we don't want 4-hour-long shows, right? No purple people with lightsabers, right?
Nope.
No. We wouldn't.
Nope.
Couldn't possibly.
No bearded people of Michigander descent. Nobody
Yeah,
like
exactly. Nah, we're not talking about those people at all.
No, that would be a menace.
that. All right, so that's going to close it out. Let's move on to plugs. Darklee, you got anything to plug, buddy?
Yeah, my new Twitch channel name is this guy named Kevin. Come there, follow me, watch me play Fault.
Is your name Kevin?
My name is Kevin.
I was gonna say it better be Kevin because I'll be disappointed.
It
I'm
is.
kind of disappointed that it is Kevin. I would have.
I tried changing it to like, oh my god, Kevin.
Brilliant.
Hey,
Jelly, anything to plug?
Mangoose, subscribe to Mangoose. I don't know. No, not really.
Okay.
right down there. Hit the bell.
Or over there, depending.
You get right down there. Yeah, sub to Jelly, I
A whole
guess.
different show, Mangoose.
And Darklee. Any final thoughts before we close it out? Got anything else? Last call, boys.
Oh,
Catch
No.
me on Overprime in a week and a half. I'm
Yeah,
stoked.
catch me outside. How about that?
Exactly.
yeah. See you on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching the premiere or the video or however the fuck you watch the goddamn thing. But for now, this is the For the Minions crew signing off. You guys have a good one. Mangoose. Special shout out to channel members Foolish Bloodhunter, Jellyknees, Meow Mix for Men, Stunt, Ferrith, and Raven.